Hey guys, welcome to Between the Weights live, I guess. I'm your host, Ryan. We're here in the gym, and I wanted to talk to you today about failure, right? We've been spending lots of time recently talking about your true north, goals that you want to obtain in your life that you care about, that you care so much about that you're willing to do whatever it takes to get them, right? And for many of us, particularly when it comes to a gym setting, that's either you want to lose weight, you want to get stronger, you want to be able to do a pull-up, you want to be more successful at sports, right? Something. And our world, our society has beginning to become built around specifically with social media, right? We see everyone's highlight reel, whether that's Facebook or Instagram. People are only sharing with us when they're winning, right? Or when they're mad at something in life, right? Whether they're trying to be negative about the barista messed up their name or someone cut them off or whatever, right? But what people don't really talk about a whole lot is when they're struggling or when something they tried to do didn't work out, or failing at something in their life, right? And the issue with that, I'm going to add to that giving 8th place trophies also, right? So the issue I have with that is people never learn to work hard. They never learn to get punched in the face and get back up afterwards, right? We talked a little bit about grit the other day, and while grit is fairly hard to get, I think, certainly learning to pick yourself up from a failure is incredibly important, right? So, now, I don't want you to go out there and start failing classes at school or doing stupid stuff so that you get fired from work, right? There's definitely places in life where it's not super convenient or safe to fail, right? And for lots of people, it's scary, right? Particularly when lots of the messaging that we hear from our parents or whatever is to not fail. And of course that's from love, right? They don't want us to get hurt. They don't want us to suffer. So they want us to be protected and stuff. So they're going to tell us to not take any risks in order to not ever fail, right? The problem is the only way you learn things, the only way you actually succeed at things is by taking risk and chance and trying things. And the only way you're going to do that is if you know that it's going to be okay at the end, right? The only way you're going to take the leap is if you know you're not going to die should you not make the other side, right? So what's really convenient is having a place like here where you can fail and it not be the end of the world, right? You can push yourself in a workout and maybe you don't finish. Maybe you don't get the greatest time, but you pushed yourself in a way that that allowed you to fail in a way, right? As a matter of speaking, that will teach you that level, help you learn grit, help you learn how to do hard things and not give up, and how to pick yourself up back off the ground, right? So just an easy example, let's say we're running a mile today, right? And you could start that mile at a real easy pace that you know you can finish the mile, right? And you might come across the line at 25 minutes, but at least you didn't stop running, right? At least you never stopped running. And maybe 25 minutes is the fastest you've ever run a mile. And congratulations, right? You didn't stop running. However, you also didn't really push yourself, right? If Instead of that, at the beginning of the mile, when the gunshot went off, you went as hard as possible, right? And your goal was to get as good of a time on the mile as possible, so you went all out right from the start, right? We can kind of see how this game is going to play out, right? A couple hundred meters down the road, you're going to burn out, and you're not going to make it, right? You're going to fail. You're possibly going to like fall out of the run and puke, right? Not even complete the mile, okay? And that's a failure, right? And that can be hard for some people. In some instances, if you don't have the practice at it. But it's incredibly important. It's what it takes. It's what it takes. It's pushing yourself to a point where you're so uncomfortable and you risk failing, okay? And it just so happens that we have a place where it's acceptable to do that, where it's not only acceptable, it's encouraged to push yourself to a place where you don't think you can go, and if you fall on your face, you pick yourself back up again and you've learned that lesson, right? Or you succeed and you've done something you didn't think was ever possible, right? And neither of those lessons are ever learned if you keep it comfortable, if you run the 25-minute mile, right? Again, I'm not saying that it's prudent to do that in every aspect of your life, right? But it's important to do it in some of them, in one of them, because that lesson needs to be learned. Because there is going to come a time in life where it's going to kick you in the face, right? Whatever it is, a loved one dying, you getting seriously ill, you being fired from your job, natural disaster, right? These things happen. And if you are prepared, if you have been in a place mentally where you have come back from that in the past, you will be ready when that time comes, right? And that's what I want for you. And I think it's important. And it's what it takes to get to the goals that we're trying to achieve, right? So find a place. Find a place. I realize not everyone can come here, right? I realize I'm not the only spot. I'm not the only coach that cares, right? You need to find a place where you can do that, where that exists, and push yourself, because that's what it takes, right? Thanks for watching. See you next time.